Hello, everyone. This is Mr. Informal back with a new podcast. This is the Mr. Informal Podcast 155. Wow, we are on podcast 155. Certainly, there are four topics on this podcast. But first, I just want to say hopefully you are safe, you are healthy, and you are still being cautious, and a lot of things are opening up. I cannot wait. Everyone is excited. You can feel the anticipation when everything opens up. I can certainly feel it. Hopefully, you can feel it too. So please do not forget to add me on Instagram, MisterInformal, and then check out my website. Got some good articles. Got some good stuff there that I have made, so please check it out at mrinformal.com, mrinformal.com. So these are the four topics for the Mr. Informal podcast. Number one, no one can seem to understand social media rules. How do you get banned? How do you get unbanned? How do you get suspended? No one really knows. Number two, electric cars is basically taking over the world. Yes, everybody's spending a lot of money on developing electric cars, better electric cars, autopilot, certainly mileage and comfort. Number three, Twitter recently announced a thing called tip jar where people can tip you when making a tweet. That's interesting. That's another way for people to make money. And then last but not least, number four, everyone, especially the restaurant business, are looking for help. They are looking for people to hire, and they are not the only industry, certainly, but a lot of industries, especially like Lyft or Uber, a lot of these ride sharing companies also need help. And so people really need help, but I think we could probably go deep into this, not just being a fourth topic, but just a big, huge topic alone. In any case, those are the four topics for this Mr. Informal Podcast 155. And again, I hope you are healthy. And so let's go ahead and start the podcast. So, first topic is social media rules. And so I'm not sure if you heard that, but they said Donald Trump is Facebook is not gonna remove the ban. Is not gonna unban Donald Trump, and that leads me to this first topic: social media rules. Like, does anybody really understand it? I mean, how do you get suspended? How does one get banned? I mean, how do you get unbanned? I mean, we've been having troubles with YouTube with its copyrights claim. I mean, even though it's not the original source who's copywriting your video with a strike, I mean, your videos suddenly get copyrighted. I mean, without any type of hearing, without any type of review. Same thing with Facebook. I mean, Facebook claimed that they don't have, there was no uprising regarding Capitol Hill, and yet it's all started in Facebook. And so, does anybody even understand it? Same thing with Twitter. I mean, Twitter announced that it's not really the board. It's basically the head management that decides whether you get banned or unbanned. And so this is leading to a big, huge precedent as to basically it's a dictatorship where the management just decided, you know what, I don't like this person. Let's ban him or let's suspend him, basically. So, I'm trying to understand what are the rules of social media. Now, if you want to say, well, we can't have any type of terrorist or terrorist recruitment videos. Okay, fine. We can't have anybody talking about we're going to lead a charge to the Capitol Hill and start killing presidents or senators. Okay, fine. But then when you have others such as, oh, we can't have women post naked, and yet they allow that step, well, isn't that hypocritical? I mean, there are people out there that post in Twitter that have a harsher words than our politicians or even you and I. And yet, for some reason, we get banned. So, I'm really trying to understand the social media rules. But you know what? Thankfully, I'm not in a lot of social medias. I only have YouTube and Instagram. Certainly, do not forget to add me on Instagram. But even I don't understand any Instagram rules. We all know Facebook owns Instagram. I don't even understand it. I mean, I've seen a lot of things, videos, pictures in Instagram. And yet, we got certain people that get suspended or get a strike or some kind of warning, even though I don't think in principle they should have never received that type of warning or that type of citation, whatever you want to call it. And it's almost as if, hey, it's my rules, so what? So first of all, we got to remove that bill is like 250 something, or that protects social media from being sued or whatever. We got to remove that. We got to hold these social media accountable. Doesn't matter what it is, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Google. Certainly Google's out the alphabet. They should be on the hot seat for a lot of things. You got to make these people be accountable for what they are providing people, whether it be free speech. And that's another thing about free speech. All right, so we ban people here talking about free speech, and then when a certain country in a different from a different area of the globe bans Twitter or bans the use of Twitter and Facebook, they talk about all free speech. Well, shit, man, I don't understand what you're saying. You're talking about free speech, and yet you're banning people here in the U.S. having free speech, and yet when your app gets banned in a different country, now you complain about free speech. It doesn't absolutely make sense. I mean, does anybody even understand the rules of social media? I mean, I certainly don't. So number 2 from Bloomberg. China tech giants bet $19 billion on global electric car frenzy. Wow. So China is shaping up to be the first real test of big tech's ambition in the world of car making, with giants from Huawei Tech and Baidu plowing almost $19 billion into electric and self-driving vehicle ventures, widely seen as the future. Transport. While Apple Inc. has long had plans for its own car, and Alphabet has Waymo, its autonomous driving unit. The size and speed of the move by China's tech titans put them in the vanguard of that broader push. So, as the world's biggest market of new energy cars, China is a key battlefield. Establishing automakers like Volkswagen AG and General Motors are already slugging it out with local upstart such as market's darling NIO and Xpeng. Over the past 3 years, Huawei smartphone giant Xiaomi Corp, Baidu, which runs China's top search engine and mapping app, even Apple's Taiwanese manufacturer partner Foxconn have joined the fray, forging tie-ups and unveiling their own car-making plans. So, certainly the US already started with electric cars with Tesla, General Motors, even Japanese Toyota, Honda with their hybrid, and also with the Koreans too. And so electric cars are the big thing, right? They are the next biggest thing, and China seems to be the number one market. I don't understand why. Can anybody tell me why China is suddenly the number one market? I mean, yes, I do know that they have billions of people. They probably have trillions of people now. But come on, are they really the only market? But look, in any case, we knew this was coming. I'm not a fan of electric cars, certainly, but I can see why. I prefer hydrogen cars. But here's the thing. If you look at the companies who wants to make electric cars or pushing the electric cars, or making electric cars be more accepted, it's not even the car company. It's actually tech company. Whether it be Apple, Tesla sees themselves as a tech company. Same thing with Huawei. They are more of a tech company. Those three companies, they are tech, and for some reason they are pushing the mindset of electric cars. Yes, I do know now Hyundai, General Motors, same thing with Toyota, are all making full electric cars. Let's not forget about Nissan. But the consumer sees company like Google and Apple making electric cars, they get more excited about it. Not the traditional car companies, which is actually quite interesting. Now, I don't really care who makes it, but the fact that tech companies are actually making electric cars says something. Now, whether it be the AI technology, whether it be the autopilot technology, whether it be the amount of data that's been collected, whether it be driver behavior, and even certain types of data, whether it be how much you drive, how long you drive, how many gallons per mile or per kilometer, whatever. So that's gonna be taking upon making the cars. Not only that, when you have Apple, certainly they're probably gonna integrate it with the Apple ecosystem. So you also have a lot of cult following with Apple. And I'm not really a fan of connected cars. I'm really not. When you hack into it, you can almost control the car, and I'm not really liking that. And so, it's interesting how tech companies are seen as more, in the consumer's mind, more making better cars, I guess, than traditional car makers. Even though traditional car makers are already making them now. So for the third topic, tip jar from hypebeast.com. Twitter rolls out a new in-app tip jar feature. Wow. So Twitter has just introduced an in-app feature that lets you get paid for your tweets. The company has rolled out tip jar. Users can now tip you without having to leave the app. Feature is currently still in testing phase, so only a limited group of people around the world who uses Twitter in English have access to it. The feature allows users to link accounts to a handful of payments such as PayPal, Bandcamp, Patreon, Venmo. Also confirming will not be taking cut from users' tip. Wow. Okay. So, strippers are going to be on this. Celebrities are going to be on this. Certain type of people such as Warren Buffett can be on this. You can do a ask me anything type of thing, and people will just pay for your answers tweet to their questions. And so a lot of money are going to be made on this. And I'm telling you right now that if you are a celebrity, if you have a big huge following on Twitter, if you have some type of cult following, if you are somehow if you are famous somehow, even if you are a little bit famous, you can make money off of this. Heck, if you have OnlyFans fan followers and you travel to Twitter, you could also do that. I mean, even if you are a YouTube star and people want to ask questions and you want to answer, they can put a tip. And again, you can make money off of this. Same thing with the super chats that's happening in YouTube. And so, do I think this is a good idea? I mean, if you have a capitalistic mindset, if you want to make money off Twitter, sure. There's nothing wrong with this. But, as usual, people are going to abuse this. If you ask certain people to tweet and they say, well, you put a tip jar first or you put a tip, I mean, they may not put a tweet out even without you tipping them. And so it's not like before where they can tweet whatever they want. So people are going to abuse this. There's no way or explaining that. I mean, is this going to make Twitter popular? Most likely, because it's another way for you to make money. I know some people do make money in Twitter, but you really, really have to be famous. I mean, famous to make money on Twitter. Now, this is going to make more money. Even the regular folks out there are going to make money off of this, especially if you are knowledgeable, highly intelligent, or again, if you have millions and millions of followers. That's the only way you can make money off of this. Now, it's still in testing phase, but again, don't be surprised if a lot of people make money off of this. And so for the last topic, help wanted. Now, people are hiring right now. Brands are hiring. Doesn't matter what industry, everybody is looking to hire. But at the same time, a lot of these companies are also being cheap with their salary, and so people don't want to go back to work because they are making more money off unemployment. Same thing with McDonald's. No one wants to work for McDonald's because everyone's collecting unemployment. Look, unemployment is not the only thing that is causing this issue. I think maybe it could be the China virus crisis that's still not over. It could be that people don't want to work right now. Maybe that's just it. People don't want to work right now. I mean, but the ones that are actually, let's say, high-paying jobs that you can make 50 grand a year or up to 80 grand a year, those types of companies are being cheap. You know, they're lowering the budget because they are saying that, hey, we're just starting to back up again, and we don't have the budget right now for a higher salary person. No, I find that BS. That's the same reason that they've been giving before this China virus took over. So I don't want to hear that excuse. Now, how do I know? I've had friends and certain people go through that, and a lot of companies are being cheap right now. And so people are saying, well, if you're gonna give me that salary, it's not too far from unemployment. I'd rather just go unemployment, and I cannot hate on that. I mean, you can blame it on unemployment all you want, but at the same time, I think companies really have to show that they are willing to give the person that they want to hire benefits, certainly a great salary. Look, people want to go back to work, but again, people just find it much more convenience to be in unemployment and not even work, because again, these companies are being cheap. And so when you have those two factors, unemployment and then number two is that companies are being cheap with their salaries and benefits, what's the point of even going back to work? What's the point? You would just rather wait till September until the additional $300 is over. And so maybe everyone will be back in September. But as of right now, everybody's looking for work. And let's not forget that these companies are desperate. Heck, even Uber and Lyft are basically bringing back the old benefits that they used to have when looking to hire somebody or looking for additional drivers, whether it be a bonus sign-up pay, whether it be additional benefits. That used to be that way. And if you take ride sharing like I did last week, man, it was quite expensive. It basically doubled because there is not enough drivers out there, and these drivers don't want to go back because, well, the China virus is still not over yet. And a lot of corporate brands are certainly trying to hire employees, but these employees are not coming back, and you can easily tell that these corporate brands are again being cheap with their salary. And if I was these corporates, provide better benefits. I mean, screw the salary per hour. How about you provide better benefits? But they're not willing to do that. How about you pay 100% of the health care, the health benefits? Why do 25% or why do 50-50? Why don't you pay 100%? I bet you if they do pay 100% benefit, people are more eager to go back to work. Because now that you pay 100% benefit, people don't worry about their health benefits. Not only that, people will definitely go back to work because, yes, there is a China virus, but when the company pays for 100% benefit, that means a lot to somebody who did not have health benefits. And so there could be a number of reasons for people not going back to work, but to me, those are the two reasons that people don't want to go back to work. Well, not yet. And so that basically it for this podcast 155. I go by the name of Mr. Informal. Hopefully you listened to me from beginning to end, and if you did, I do really appreciate it. And if you do have some comments, please let me know. And so that is basically it for this podcast 155. Please do not forget to add me on Instagram, MISTERINFORMAL, and then check out my website. Got some good stuff there, good articles, and also great stuff that I made. That's mrinformal.com, MRINFORMAL.com. And so I hope you are being safe. I hope you are being cautious, and certainly I hope you are healthy. I will see you in the next podcast. Bye-bye.